What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video. In today's video, I will be talking about Robert Saleh's press conference and how he kind of walked back his Zach Wilson comments a little bit and gave some insight into the Jets personnel usage, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But it's I don't know, just again, I understand where he's coming from on some of these things, but how he communicates in some of his press conferences really leave you scratching your head sometimes. First, though, Robert Saleh was asked about Joe Namath's comments. If you haven't seen it, Joe Namath has been very, very critical of the New York Jets and very, very critical of Zach Wilson. So a reporter asked Robert Saleh his thoughts on it, and basically he said, Joe is an icon, a Hall of Famer. My office is always open for him. We'll agree to disagree with his comments, but he is entitled to those comments. I actually thought that was a pretty respectful answer, and what is he supposed to say? I think, if he were to go right back at him, that would be a really, really bad look. So I appreciate him saying, hey, we're going to agree to disagree on that one. I like him saying that my office is always open to him. So if he wants to come and talk, but he kind of took the high road on that. And again, I think that was the right call. And that's not me coming on here and saying that Joe Namath is wrong to have those opinions or what he's saying is wrong, anything like that. I get it. Joe Namath's very, very frustrated. He's watching the same thing that we are week in and week out. He's frustrated. I get it. I understand where he is coming from. But I also understand where Robert Saleh is coming from in all of this and talking about how, we'll kind of just agree to disagree on that one, but he's entitled to those opinions. I think that's a fair response from Saleh. How about this quote from Robert Saleh talking about Zach Wilson? We all acknowledge he has to play better.
With regard to Z, we all acknowledge he has to play better. We all acknowledge that. He acknowledges that. Teammates acknowledge it. He acknowledges it himself, and but the key is to have confidence in yourself. You have to, and you got to keep continually stack good days. You go out and you own your moments. You go out to practice. You dominate practice, and you just you got to find a way to gain the momentum of practice and turn it into transfer that momentum into the game, but for him, definitely needs to get better, but at the same time, you've got to maintain your belief in yourself and your teammates and play within yourself and not try to press and make things happen. Just play within the structure of the offense, get the ball to your playmakers, and let your playmakers go to work.
Is this not what we were asking for all along? No one legitimately was asking for Robert Saleh to go up onto the podium and say that Zach Wilson sucks. I don't know what you want me to do. That's not fair to anybody. But all he has to say is, something along the lines of this. Why'd you have to wait till Wednesday to say something along these lines? We know that Zach Wilson has to play better. We're working through that. We're working to build his confidence. We're seeing some things behind the scenes that we really like. It has to start translating on the field. Something to that effect. They are so afraid to put any kind of pressure on this kid. And that, I think, just goes to show you just how broken he really is. We saw it on Hard Knocks, how the guys were really talking about him. Nathaniel Hackett, Jeff Ulbrich, Robert Saleh, with him showing just the smallest signs of confidence in himself. They're talking about, wow, that was a really great thing. That was a big thing for Zach. And I get it. That is a positive, and I was happy to see that, and I was happy for Zach Wilson that he was coming around mentally on this, right? But good God, this is year 3. He has 25 starts. He's going to have 25 starts under his belt on Sunday. What are we doing? I get it, but they're so afraid to do anything to put any kind of pressure on Zach Wilson. He was also asked about Trevor Siemian. Trevor Siemian will not be active in this game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Not crazy surprising, based on him just signing yesterday. That's a really, really quick turnaround. Could he be ready to go for Denver? Possibly. I think there is a chance, and I hope that he is able to go because, as I said in my video yesterday, as sad as this may be, Trevor Siemian is a significant upgrade over Zach Wilson, and you have to beat the Denver Broncos. I don't care what direction your season goes. After the bye week, we'll have a better idea, I think, but you have to come out of Denver with a win. That team stinks, and play with some pride. They embarrassed you in the offseason. They're A coach talked so much shit on the offensive coordinator and so much shit about this franchise. They need to go out there and find a way to win. A team that just allowed 70 points on defense. And I get it. Miami's great offensively. The Jets are not in the same stratosphere right now offensively with the Miami Dolphins because it's just completely different. But there's no reason that you can't win that game with a Trevor Siemian type of performance at quarterback. I want to close with this. Robert Saleh's comments on guys like Mecole Hardman who aren't really getting on the field a whole lot. I don't get it. He doesn't really do a good job of explaining a good reason.
Yeah, you would love to use the speed to find ways to utilize the speed, but at the same time, there's a lot of guys that we're trying to get on the field. Again, knock on wood, we got a cool group of skill guys, and whether we want to get all three of our tight ends on the field or get two backs on the field or get all the receivers on the field, it's some of those opportunities just haven't presented itself. We tried to get them out there early against New England. Didn't go the way we wanted to, and then the game kind of goes in a different direction. And then, but no, to try to get his speed on Xavier Gipson, same thing. I'd like to get him more opportunities too. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's pretty special too. So there's a lot of guys that we're trying to get opportunities for.
He mentioned getting three tight ends on the field. That'd be one thing if they actually freaking did it, but they didn't. They did not do that. Jeremy Rucker played one snap against the New England Patriots. What are we talking about? He played 5 snaps against the Dallas Cowboys the week before that. 6 snaps in the last 2 weeks. That's it. And Hardman, I believe, ended with 14 snaps against the Dallas Cowboys, and a lot of that came in garbage time. Don't give me the tight end excuse or the 2 running backs on the field excuse. I don't want to hear it. Randall Cobb played 73% of snaps on offense in this game. That goes to show me that essentially every single time they went 3 wide, it was Randall Cobb. It wasn't Mecole Hardman. You got to have that come back closer to being even. I get it. They really like the veteran presence of Randall Cobb and this and that, but it can't be 73% versus 3%. The two of them combined played 76% of the snaps, and 73 went to Randall Cobb. Again, that is unacceptable. That number has to be closer to an even split. If you're playing 76%, that's got to be closer to 40-36. It has to. It has to be closer to an even split year. Why sign him? They paid him relatively good money on a 1-year deal to come here. And they're just not utilizing him at all. Is it that hard to do an end around or throw him a screen pass or say... Same thing could be said about Xavier Gipson. He's dynamic as a returner, and he flashed on as a receiver in the preseason. I'm not saying he's got to have 5 catches a game, but there's no reason that between Hardman and Gipson, they can't be getting the ball in their hands 3-4 times a game. Again, that's not asking a lot. I'm not saying Mecole Hardman's got to come in and outpace Garrett Wilson on offense. He's got to have 5 catches on the game. No, but just 5 targets, maybe 2 or 3 targets for Xavier Gipson, something along those lines. They got to be more creative. And that goes back to Nathaniel Hackett, who hasn't done a good job. And I think the personnel usage absolutely is a major, major red flag and a cause for concern. And maybe that changes because if you look at the Jets last year, through the first 3 weeks of the season, they were 1-2, and their personnel usage did not make any sense. Bryce Huff was inactive as the biggest example. They were trying to blitz too much with the defensive line. Quinnen Williams goes nuts on the sideline. They get things back in gear and end up going on a really nice hot streak for a little bit. But in this one in particular, just good God. I don't understand. We're not asking a lot. The fans are really not asking a lot. But anyway, the beat has to get their questions off about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, right? That has to be mentioned in the press conference because of course it is, but we don't get any pressure on, Mecole Hardman not playing or why Trevor Siemian's inactive or are they going to keep the same offensive line going forward or what the plan is there on the offensive line. No, nothing like that, but got to know about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Appreciate that, Jets Beat. Really, really good work. That's going to do it for me in this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.